Welcome back to another video. It's Bradford v Barrow match preview. Let me know your score predictions and thoughts going into the game in the comments down below. Barrow on a terrible form and they're one of the worst teams in the league in terms of form, so what a better time than to Bradford to ruin their momentum one they're on and to lose to a team who's probably on the worst one in the league. But we've got to be coming into this and we've got to be winning because it's the type of game we bottle. Last season, Hartlepool is the one I remember. They were terrible away from home, on a bad run. They go and beat us. I think it was like the first away win as somewhat stupid, and you just knew it was that type of season again. This season, the one I can really remember is Rochdale. Well, last defeat. They're poor. They're comfortably bottom of the league. They bottom of the league with 21 points, 5 points away from 22nd. We've got to be winning this game. We've got to be taking the most out of an opportunity and beating a team that's around us, but are on a bad run of form. And we've got 2 wins in a row, 1 defeat in 9, 1 defeat in 8, could make it 1 defeat in 9. And like I said, we've got to make the most of the opportunity. So looking at the results, we've just come off the back of 2 massive wins to Tranmere, 2-0 Tranmere, 3-2 against Stevenage, 1-1 draw to Mansfield, 2 0-0s, a 0-0 to Stockport and a 0-0 at Wimbledon, and a massive 2-1 defeat to Rochdale. I mean, the more you look at it, the more you go, why did we bloody bottle that game? Because if we won it, I don't like this, but if we won it, we would have been on 51 points and 5th, and real pressure would be on Northampton and Carlisle. But there still is pressure on them from us. We're on a good one. We've still got to play Carlisle. We've got 2 games in hand on them, and we've got to be focusing on that. But the teams behind us are slipping up as well as the teams in front of us. Barrow, like I say, Swindon 3 defeats in a row, 4 without win. Barrow on a bad one, the worst form in the league. So we've got to take the most of this opportunity. Their results are grim for Barrow fans. A 1-0 defeat to Doncaster, a 1-0 defeat to Newport, a 1-1 draw to Colchester, a 5-1 defeat to Carlisle, a 2-0 defeat to Northampton, and a 0-0 draw to Leyton Orient. They've had 1 win in 12. They're 14 for 41 points, which is only 7 points behind us. They were overachieving, to be fair to them, at the beginning of the season. I think a few had them at least bottom half, but a few probably had them in the relegation zone in terms of predictions this season. Pete Wild's done a very good job at Barrow. He's managed 38 games, won 15, drawn 5 and lost 18. So they've had a good start under Pete Wild. He's obviously a very good, young, exciting manager. We're doing well at Halifax. His career record is 182 games managed, 85 wins, drawn 32 and lost 65. I think he was linked with a City job before Mark Hughes got it. There were a few, and Benito Carboni actually came out and spoke about how much he wanted a job, but he basically said he can't complain with Mark Hughes. But he hasn't got much of a pedigree. Whereas Pete Wild was doing very well at Halifax, and they haven't really had much of a good season now, and he's probably overachieving with that Barrow team. Jake Young's there. On the past and present, I've sort of just come on to it, but Canavan's there, played 31 games this season for them, and Jake Young, he's played 4 games but only played 53 minutes, scoring 0 goals and getting no assists, so he ain't really starting. I don't think he can play against City. He shouldn't be able to anyway because he's out on loan there. And Andy Cook used to play for them as well and got a pretty good goal record for them. He's the 38th, his 38th all-time goal scorer now for Bradford City, scoring 38 goals after his goal on midweek against Tranmere. So he always scores against his former teams. Scored against Tranmere, scored against Mansfield in the last 4 games. He's now got to play against Barrow, and hopefully he can get on the score sheet and get, which would be a massive win for City. Not in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the league table, you look at our form compared to theirs, but to hide, what we've put to bed a couple of times this season, these sort of bogey matches. I mean, you have bogey teams like your Harrogates who we put to bed, and a couple of others. Salford were one, Carlisle away one. We haven't done that one yet, but these type of games, the teams that are in form in the league, we've got to be winning this and put that to bed. But in terms of their form, like I said, they are bad away from home. The 17th worst away team in the league with 16 points from 16 games, and they have the worst form in the league. You look at the form guide, 1 win in 5 and 7 points in 10. They're comfortably in the relegation zone for form in the league, and they've not had a good start to a new year. But before that, they've been dreadful, to be honest. You look at the last 6, Carlisle, Northampton, Orient, tough fixtures. They've also had to play Stevenage, who I think they got battered 5-0 was it, or something like that. They got battered to Stevenage as well. But recently they've drawn to Colchester, lost to Newport and Doncaster, who aren't on the best of form. Before, Doncaster have won 3 in a row, but before that, we've got to be winning these. We've got to be putting that to bed. But as we've had one home loss in 5, and that was to Rochdale. We've had one defeat in 9. That's one of the best ones this season, considering the games we've been playing, the teams we've played against, the lack of draws, recently as well. If we can win this, it probably would become, because the best one I found was one defeat in 14, but there were loads of draws in that, and we had one defeat in 9, but there weren't as many draws in that. But the teams we played against were teams you'd expect to be beating. So in terms of the teams we played against, and the lack of draws recently as well, with beating Salford and Harrogate at home and beating Stevenage and Tranmere home and away, that we won a fantastic one. And like I say, it'd be a shame if it ended to Barrow, who are one of the worst teams in the league at the minute in terms of form. Head to heads, no, we're going to key players. There ain't many recently for Barrow, but in terms of the whole season, Ben Whitfield's had a fantastic season coming from the National League. 5 goals and 10 assists for Barrow. He has been one of their bright lights. But onto the head-to-heads, the last game was a 3-2 defeat. I think Jake Young came on and scored a fantastic goal, and his pace really contributed to the game. But in terms of the history, we've won 23 against them, drawn 15 and lost 15 against them. The first game was in 1906 and we won 3-2 in the FA Cup. And the first league game we played were in the Division 3 North, a 0-0 draw in 1927. Last 5 games then is the last 5. Before the last 5 games, the last time these teams faced was in 1970, when we drew 3-3. But the last 5 games, a 3-2 defeat to Barrow earlier on in the season, a 2-1 win on New Year last season, a 1-1 draw, a 2-1 win, and a 1-0 defeat on Halloween in 2020. So shaky, 2 defeats, but also 2 wins and a draw. So I think that's the same as Tranmere, and they came up that same year, I think. So yeah, we like I say, we've got to be beating them, and the head-to-head's quite even as well. So my team, let me know what team you'd pick in the comments down below. I'd stick with a Diamond. I've been going 3-5-2 recently, but I think Diamond is working well and at home. We've got to be attacking them. I'd go Lewis, Halliday, Platt, Stubbs and Wide. I'll stick with the same back 5. Lewis is fantastic. Halliday, I don't know how Halliday actually got in the team of the week. I don't think he was that good, but maybe there was a lack of right back options in it. Platt, steady. I quite like him. Stubbs, I didn't think he had the best of games on Tuesday, but he got a lot of praise. So maybe I was wrong. Rideout, steady. I don't think Bowler will be back, and I don't think Quitchell will be back. Quitchell probably shouldn't be back with a bleed on his eye. I don't think his vision would be best still. And Bowler, I think it was about last week, he said 7 to 10 days, and it's been around that period. So maybe if each is on the bench, I don't know. Gilead and Clayton and Walker is my midfield 3. Clayton, easy, fantastic signing. Gilead as well, he's on form and he's playing much better in this sort of box-to-box free role for him. Walker, unbelievable, one of the form players in the league at the moment. And the other midfielder, I'm a bit undecided. I think Ryan East at home, and he gives good balance, but Smallwood's had a good couple of games, so it's a hard one. Who suits this game the most? I think Barrow are quite possession-based, and do you want a tough tackler in, or do you want someone who's good at playing the ball, who's a good passer with the ball? I don't know. So I would go Smallwood just because he's played the last 2 and stayed in the team and done well and took his chance when he'd come back in. But he's took his chance, so he should still be in the team, really. Cook and Issa up top. I don't think Derbyshire will be available for this game at all. I think he's had his scan today. Costello, could he come in the team? I don't think he's quite good enough. I don't think he's even been on the bench recently, has he? Dion Pereira, nowhere near the team. Scott Banks, would that position suit him? Maybe Hughes might play 4-2-3-1. I might go back to that. But Andy Cook's got to be up front against his former club. Always scores against his former club, and his goals put him above Ian Olmermoyd, big sticks in the last game. So let me know your score predictions in the comments down below. I think, well, I'm going to go with a 3-0 City win, because that's the scoreline it should be against one of the worst teams in the league, leaking goals as well recently. I mean, they lost 5-1 to Carlisle. There's no reason why we shouldn't be hammering them, because this is the type of performance that you need to take. If you want to go up, you've got to be beating the teams who are out of form comfortably. If you don't, then you're not going up. It's simple as that. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 because that's what it should be, a comfortable win. But it won't be, will it? Because it's Bradford City. But we'll see. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win. Let me know your score predictions and thoughts going into a game in the comments down below. Have a good one.